I started working with Amit, everyone was like, what is podcast? And now people are like, you know what? My uncle speaks great. You should have him on your podcast.
I just have a lot of fun and I listen to nobody. So my career has been like that from the beginning. I'm a bit like the center. You just can't tell me what to do. The wife is telling me I'm the worst podcaster she's heard. Because, and rightly so, because I don't listen.
When I was little, I was watching all these cartoons and I met the people who were behind the cartoon voices. Myself as a voice artist, I was like, wow. And I thought these stories have to go out and people need to know about these artists.
So what we've realized is attention, which is the currency of creator economy, I would say. That is something which everyone talks about as, oh, it is short. What we like to believe is that it isn't short, it is gated.
The best way to build an audience is drop an episode every week. The problem with branded shows, they want to do 6 episodes, 8 episodes, 10 episode series. And when you want to do a 6, 8, 10 episode series, you only have that much time to build an audience.
You know, I think one day we're all going to be in a place where everybody's a podcaster, so we have no guests in the world left. Because everyone's just going to have their own shows. Okay, last year on this very panel, we started off with this, and I remember somebody said, and that person's not on this panel this year for a reason. They said, I don't think in India audio podcasts are the future. Okay, so then we bumped them off this panel. But the truth is that even
Ranveer.
their very own podcast
I'm just guessing. I don't know. No?
has done extremely well in the last year.
Yeah. Correct.
Also, let me just preface this. I'm glad he brought up Raj Chamani's podcast, but the truth is that there was an interesting insight throughout that podcast for all of us, which is that if a legacy media channel is not chosen today versus a new media channel, and that podcast is clocking, 25 million views right now, guys? You know, honestly, every podcaster's win is our win. And I feel that you really put your hands together. Having said that, thank you so much, each of you, for joining me today. I'm going to start off, of course, with May and Amit. Hi, OGs.
You've been here for too long.
You've
clearly.
been like these early movers and shakers in this space. So my question to you is, how have you seen the industry evolve in terms of audiences, monetization, and perception? Amit, you want to take that first?
So from an audience point of view, I think the audience has grown dramatically in terms of what was there. But I think that is a function of also the form that has changed, right? And I mean, like, I love audio, but video has opened up a whole bunch of different avenues, a whole bunch of different audience that was not there when it was just a purely audio product. So I think that has led to a larger this, but it has changed because of that, right? It's now not just an audio thing, it's an audio and video thing. Video is it's not equally important, it's actually probably at this point, I don't want to say primary, but yeah, primary in India at least, because YouTube is the way people are consuming podcasts. It's how people are discovering podcasts. One thing that we do see is that we see people move from YouTube to audio, just in the sense that, like, you know, they find it on YouTube, but audio is more convenient to consume in different ways. So we do see some of that as well, but it's a very different space. I mean, like, it might as well not be the same business.
Wow, that's interesting. Thank you. Thank you for that. May?
So, I will say one thing. I feel like when I started working with Amit, everyone was like, what is podcast? What is this thing you're doing? And now people are like, you know what? My uncle speaks great. You should have him on your podcast. So now I feel like everyone knows what a podcast is now, and everyone wants to make one, which for me is amazing, because everyone and their grandfather wants to make a podcast now, which is awesome. I'd also say, and again, being a sort of, I see a lot of like radio people, ex-radio people, current radio people. For me, it was truly liberating. I felt like, look how much...
Ranveer.
I knew it. I waited for the punchline also. For me, I kind of felt that the world is my oyster. I could do anything in a podcast that I just couldn't do on radio. And I think for me, I still feel like there's so many shows that don't exist that I feel like need to be made. And I feel like there is still so much opportunity. I still get really irritated when people are like, I want to interview interesting people doing interesting things podcast. And I'm like, no, we can make the unique thing, make the different thing. So I'm always in this space of like, if there are more creators, there are more people making stuff, then I guess there's just, in my opinion, more voices, more variety. I think that's the thing that's
Thank you
changed.
so much, May. Cyrus, first off,
Thanks. Finally, 45 minutes of wait for that great man to start the show. A lot of people are upset, but I'm trying to calm them down. Guys, we apologize for the late start. If you were in Frankfurt, this won't happen. But
thank you.
Go on.
Thank you. Cyrus, it's been an absolute pleasure to see you across the last, couple of decades. But I feel...
Wow. Wow. I mean, my abdomen is hurting. I mean, that's mean.
Uncle.
But I must say, your most fun form has to be right now. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I watch your podcast to laugh alone on my couch. Yes, I lead a sad life.
Alone,
but
huh?
Alone is the key word. How much fun are you having? Because you've transcended like these mediums, and is it most fun for you now?
I'm very happy because we've had the biggest drop-off of producers in my show. 13 in 10 years or something like that. And only 4 of them died unnaturally. So I have to be quite honest. I just have a lot of fun and I listen to nobody. So my career has been like that from the beginning. I'm a bit like the center. You just can't tell me what to do. And so I'm having a great time. The wife is telling me I'm the worst podcaster she's heard. Because, and rightly so, because I don't listen. And the primary, if you look at Raj Shamani, who is now our leader, he does a lot of I'm not good at the I'm already scratching and looking somewhere else. The last 5 minutes I've heard nothing. Amit was too slow, May was too soft, and you were praising me too much. This lovely lady smiled at me twice, that's my only memory right now. Ranveer had a heart attack at the back, dropped something, I hope he's okay. All right? Apparently they're reviving Latent and he's going to be the face of it. So, while that's going on, I just got to tell you, sometimes it's a real irony. I don't know what I'm doing in a podcast. We talk for 1 hour, 15 minutes, sometimes of which the guest does 4 minutes. And then they tell me about it and say, let the guest speak, and there's no improvement after 10 years. So yes, I'm like the government. All good.
Thank you.
The
Thank
show
you,
is
Cyrus.
called
Cyrus
Cyrus.
Brocha, ladies and gentlemen. Come on.
Wait, Amit wants to say something. He's hurt.
I'm just saying the show is called Cyrus Says.
That's true.
That's true.
Your legal team was very clear.
Poor guests. They come on the show, then they realize they really meant the title. This is amazing. So, Sonal, it's so nice to have you. I must say that
you.
we're huge fans of the work that you put out. But what's most exciting for you, the reason for you to be here, is that you've transformed to be a creator, okay?
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
now a podcast creator.
Correct.
I don't think it would be easy at all to do that. But how did you decide that this is going to be who I'm going to speak to? Because it's, voicing is such a niche. So we're from the audio space, so we take it for granted. But
Right.
for you, when you go out in the world, they're like, oh, aap ye kaam karte ho, right?
True, true.
Can you do it in that voice? Oh, aap ye kaam karte ho as Doraemon?
Oh, आप ये काम करते हो?
Ji haan. Exactly. So when you decide
There are a
to-
couple of adult channels where that kind of thing goes on.
Oh, God.
So when you decided to launch your podcast to actually talk about voicing and people who are in this, it's so niche, but it is doing so well. Like when you went in, what were your thoughts?
So basically, it was I wanted to do something for the industry, and when I came to Mumbai, I'm from Delhi. I thought when I was little, I was watching all these cartoons, and I met the people who were behind the cartoon voices, and I met them as a fan, and I was like, "Sir, आपने आवाज़ की है? Oh, sir, आपने आवाज़ की है? Ma'am, आपने आवाज़ की है?" And I was stunned. Myself as a voice artist, I was like, wow. And I thought these stories have to go out and people need to know about these artists because हमारा बचपन बना है यार मिकी माउस देख के and Winnie the Pooh and all the cartoons that we had watched. And I thought that these people need to be there. And podcast was growing at that time. This was early last year. And I thought this is the best thing that I can do.
Yeah, it's phenomenally successful, I must say, for a niche.
Thank
The
you.
amount of people who tune in, and this is exactly what May is talking about, that there can be so many forms because people are, I think, if nothing else, we're just curious as a generation. We want to know, and I think all of you are fulfilling that need. So that brings me to Swajal. Hi, Swajal, how are you doing?
Hello.
Director of Brand Planning, White Rivers Media. But I don't want to talk to you as a professional at this point. I want to talk to you as somebody who represents you and I, people who consume the podcast as well.
Yeah.
Do you think that we are curious? That's why the podcasting business is doing so well? What have you analyzed through the audiences that you work with?
I think I have a little nerdy answer, I would say, because that's something which...
Nerdy answer. We want only nerdy answers, please.
No, I think that's something that we have gathered after talking to certain generational studies that we've been doing. So what we've realized is attention, which is the currency of creator economy, I would say, that is something which everyone talks about as, oh, it is short. What we like to believe is that it isn't short, it is gated. And that's majorly also because if you see today, reasons of consumption, any content is not just, okay, I love beauty, but I think a lot of it has got to do with a little higher order purpose that someone might have. So like say, for example, I am consuming certain content because maybe it's a therapy talk for me, or maybe it's a soft talk for me, or maybe it is, probably giving me certain cognitive companionship that I might just drop in a conversation that I have. So these are the higher order purpose that we're seeing people are consuming even on social media. And I think a podcast kind of beautifully fits into it because of its nature. So number one is that, of course, it's long form, it's slow burn, and more importantly, it's opt-in. So what it allows for is it gives podcaster, if done correctly, the chance to feed into those higher order purposes is what I feel. And because I think another interesting thing that I also remember a lot of people talking about is that, hey, when I quote that this is a podcast that I'm listening to, they're trying to kind of make an identity about themselves. So I think there's a reason for podcasting beyond just, hey, I love it, or that's entertainment. It's also now a kind of a social currency. And I think for podcasters, like even Sir Cyrus, sir, it's also got to do with, okay, you are kind of a cognitive, not cognitive, I would say, but a companionship that you are giving me.
It sounded really bad, but...
But I mean, it's more like, okay, you are an extension of my living room, and I'm over there, I'm listening you. Sometimes it's bunkus, and it's just getting me through the day. So I think those are my emotions and my motivation. That's something which we're also seeing a lot of consumers now using to kind of tune into podcasts.
Thank you so much, Swejal.
I've never been in her living room, just for the record. I mean, I don't mind if that's what you like, but saaf safai ke liye aayega main. Cleaning.
Things to think about. Is podcasting a pill for the lonely? We'll talk about that. Do all of us really wish that people get lonelier ताकि वो हमारे podcast सुने? Okay. Let's not get that dark here. But imagine that, okay? But I want to ask you, May and Amit, both of you. I feel like, Yatin just talked about how brands are going towards podcasts because brand retention, etc., is much better. When people listen in that space, which is their own, where they're uninterrupted, where they don't have 100 other things stimulating them. So do you really think that we're a platform now uniquely positioned to foster these brand community relationships? And talk to me about something that you built for a brand. I remember what you did for Westside. It was amazing. What did they come back with? So you want to tell them about the Westside brand collaboration?
So I will say one thing is that the great thing, and a thing that I really enjoy about if brands really, really want to use the medium of podcasting, it's that you can't assume that you're going to sell the t-shirt or sell the pant. Like, this is not where the selling happens. This is where you are having the conversations with your audience that you're not able to have anywhere else. And that's the important thing. It's about representing yourself. It's about being in rooms with the people that you're like, hey, this person is a cool person. I want them to wear my clothes. I want them to be a part of whatever they're saying should have my logo somewhere near it. That's the whole point. And so we've worked with many brands. In the pandemic, we worked with Bumble, and literally Bumble being a dating app, we made a show called Is Romance Dead? Right? And we were looking at whether romance still exists. More recently, we were working on a podcast with Westside. And again, it was about making a show where the women who were on it and it's sort of being ambassadorial in nature. Like, for example, we had this particular kind of format for a show I've been wanting, not that this is particularly groundbreaking, but it was like a guest on guest format, right? Like, I wanted a hostless format, and the idea for this was that I wanted to be able to bring two women together from the same industry talking shop, because you just never get to see that, right? And that's why I had like Rohini and Sanobar, two RJs talking about, and they were talking to me how you live and die on air checks. as an RJ. Like all these things. So we had 2 extremely foul-mouthed lawyers. These women were incredible. We had graphic designers. We had 2 cricketers. But the idea is that you never see women on a screen talking about their industry or whatever work that they do.
And the funny thing is that that's all we do. All we do is we talk shop.
I know. So I think for me, that's the thing that brands have to realize. If you want to attach yourself to a podcast, please don't assume you're immediately going to get a sale from it. And that's not the point of being able to create a podcast. I think that's the thing that I always feel like I'm sort of battling towards actually like, hey, I want to work with you as a brand. I go to Westside and shop for my clothes. So I'm like, I want to work with this brand. I'm so close to them. And that's the thing that I feel like is what I'm always trying to communicate.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Amit, I'm going to give you a pointed example if you don't mind. And that is it was a brand collab with Gajraj Rao Sahab. It was also a finance partner on that. And
Yes,
that was Chittiya.
It was Chittiya storytelling.
Oh man, that was beautiful. I don't know if you guys heard it, consumed it, but you should be listening to it. It's a fantastic podcast. Please give it up. And please mark it on your must listen to podcast. Do you want to talk to us about that?
Yeah, it was a really fun project. We worked with SBI Life on that. It was a fiction project. I think one of the things that I think is most important for this stuff to work is there has to be a light touch in terms of how sponsorship works on this stuff. And the SBI Life was phenomenal on that show, right? They were very supportive. They were like, they understood it was a narrative show and they wanted narrative first. And they kind of gave us the support on being able to do that without saying like, let's make one character an insurance agent who keeps selling insurance. They didn't do that kind of thing. It became a very kind of subtle thing. But I think that's what kind of makes this kind of thing really work. I would say to come back to your original question, right? Like in terms of where brands work well in this kind of thing. I think I've thought, as I think about this, right, I see a couple of different areas. So area number 1 is, can we do something which is long-term, right? So we're working with IDFC First Bank on doing a show called A Century of Cricket, A Century of Stories. Cyrus hosts A Century of Cricket for us. And they've committed to long-term kind of building that show. And we're seeing we're seeing how we can build that out. And we're now at a point where that feels pretty successful, right? We're doing multiple millions a month in terms of views, hundreds of thousands in terms of downloads. So that feels good. We've also seen stuff where we're doing right now, we're working with another bank, HDFC Bank, on the show around their CSR initiative, Vigilante. Anu Menon is part of that, right? And what we're seeing over there is that even though we're creating extremely strong content, but the strategy over there is more around building social assets, which can then be kind of deployed in real ways. And I think it's a really interesting kind of evolution that I'm seeing fairly recently. I don't think people were thinking of this in that way. The thought was always, as May said, that, hey, make a podcast, it should work, it should become popular just in and of itself. And the understanding that it can be like a support medium, I think, is really interesting and really new.
Thank you so much for sharing. I want to take it to the creators here, that's Cyrus and Sonal. What is your relationship with branded stuff on your podcast? Do you happily endorse people? How do you decide कि मैं इसको कितना पैसा बोलूँ?
So कितना पैसा बोलूँ तो it's decided कि podcast का कितना होगा, reel का कितना होगा.
By who?
By me, myself, my team, everybody. But yes, there has to be a decision whether I want to promote this thing or not. So I am very clear with this that I will not never promote lottery and gambling and वो सारी apps. I will never promote that. And I will never promote something that I do not align with. So yeah, and sometimes we get mails from people that they want to promote themselves on a podcast, and when I look at the profile and I feel कि नहीं यार ये मेरी audience के साथ align नहीं हो रहा है, also I don't feel that the energy is matching with me, I have to say a no.
Just want to say you're one of the richest people in the room right now, because to have this choice is a privilege. I think you should give Sonal a hand for that. This is really amazing. Really.
Yeah.
Wow, as somebody who started off a podcast and then is now literally founder of this business, right?
Also, because it's a huge responsibility, and all of my audience, they are very young. Some of them are kids, literally. So I have to be very responsible towards what I am promoting and what I'm talking about, because for them, I am I'm a figure that they look up to, and they feel that whatever she's saying is right, and whatever she's using or whatever she is applying on the body, let's say, might be very good. So I have to be very careful about it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, Suna.
Cyrus.
Your relationship.
It's a little, my philosophy is a little different. At IBM, we are far more desperate for brands. And me and Amit lie outside Hindustan Lever as carpets and let them walk on us and things like that. So our entire approach is different. We are servants to the market in a sense. More importantly, we have no problem with gambling and drinking and all this. I really don't understand the issue. Whoever's interested, please come on board. And the people listening to my show are 5 and under.
What?
I'm not lying.
I'll forward the mails to you.
Yeah,
all
but
the
I do
gambling
have my
mails.
own issues. I don't want motorbikes on our show because they don't follow any rules in Bombay, and that drives me nuts. So no motorcycles. I said no to motorcycles. Whatever happens, then men who dress like women, like my friend Kunal, never on the show. So, but for us personally, I don't think we're in a position to really say no to any brand. We say yes, and they say no. That's normally the conversation.
Thank you, Cyrus. But Cyrus, I have another question for you. Given your long-standing relevance, how do you keep your content fresh without losing your core audience? And have you have an understanding कि ये मेरी MTV की audience है जो अभी भी मेरे साथ है, and then there's an entirely new audience who's come to you. Do you actually read the comments?
Most of my audience is by accident. Because they're looking for somebody else and then they stumble on it and stay for 5 minutes. But I think the MTV audience is whatever, the old, you're just trying to call people old, right? So people like Rajesh, who's the MTV audience, they will listen, I hope. And then we just try to open it up to anybody else who's interested. Like I said, we've been very desperate and very open about that. We've given all kinds of schemes like free sweaters in the summer, umbrellas, not in the rain, just to sit on, especially for men. But so we do whatever we can to entice an audience and get them interested. I have no idea about the market. I leave that all to Amit. He's the Gujarati in the room. Why should I interfere? So he's much more clear about the dynamics and the diaspora and whoever's interested in coming in or out. Keeping it fresh is more difficult because we've done over 1,600 episodes. So sometimes I don't know the guest has come before. So it's embarrassing when I ask him the same question. And it's happened quite a few times. Amit, please tell me when they've come before. We've even had a guest who's come 3 times. Okay, that sounds sexual, so I'll repeat. A guest who's arrived and performed in the studio with us on more than one occasion, and yet you sort of don't remember. So it's like a government job after some time. It's a bit scary. Yeah, but coming back to the market, Mr. Doshi, pick it up here. This is your question. You're asking me to answer. You lose the one
Mr.
brand you do
Doshi,
have.
I'll actually take that question further. Okay, you have a unbrandable podcast. Okay, you should just call it unbrandable. All right, so that's one. And then you have these branded podcasts. Okay, talk to me and Swejal, you can weigh in on this. Audience जब देखती है कि भाई ये तो एक branded podcast है versus ये एक non-branded podcast है. My question is, there are more views always on the unbranded podcast because that is, the perception gets organic, ye wo. How do you match the two? Like, what do you have to do?
I think the IDFC project that we worked on kind of treads that balance very well. It is a branded show, but they have given us the ability to create. I think the Century of Stories show, which Kunal is hosting, is about 75 episodes in. Cyrus's show is about 45 episodes in. They're giving us length to kind of build out this content in that sense. I think that is kind of why the unbranded shows work, right? Because most of the unbranded shows are weekly shows. The best way to build an audience is drop an episode every week. The problem with branded shows, and this is with all due respect to all brands, they want to do 6 episodes, 8 episodes, 10 episode series. And when you want to do a 6, 8, 10 episode series, you only have that much time to build an audience. It is the challenge that we have, right? That most brand projects are short. And it's very difficult to build an audience in a short time organically.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Amit, for demystifying that. Swejal.
I think it's the agenda also that matters, I think, when it comes to branded. And I think the best example that I have in mind, it's an international example, I'm sorry. It's a podcast called The Sauce by McDonald's. It's pretty old now, but that was a podcast they created in response to a PR fiasco that they had for their Szechuan sauce launch. So it was very iconic, but the way it was launched and the recipe, all kind of, I think, it did not really work out. But now in this case, what they decided to do is that, hey, I will activate my community of McDonald's lovers. But the way I want to do is I want to do it in a fun way. So I don't want to go about my executive going over there and explaining. I would much rather borrow from true crime podcast genre, the investigative journalism, and they kind of borrowed from that and built an entire 3-4 episodic series that kind of took them in the interiors of what happened. So in that case, and it ended up becoming, I think it's a very big marketing case study also, and it really ended up trending back then. So even if it is branded, I think it's the agenda that matters, how fun you create with it. I think that is equally important. That's what I feel.
So
Can I
yes.
respond one? So that's true. I love the Sur the Sauce, right? And I've read about I read the case studies around that. There was significant money spent by McDonald's to push that podcast. Indian brands don't do that typically. That's the difference, right?
I agree.
They did a massive PR campaign around it. They did a big digital campaign around it. They did all of this stuff to kind of make people aware of the show.
I think I agree with it, and I think that's something which is also linked to the point which Yatin sir had said in terms of analytics and all those things. And also, as a market, I think oftentimes, sometimes when we speak to our brands also, they're like, hey, can you give me some detailed insight into who the audience is, from where they're coming? That can also be a challenge, I would say. And I think now they're learning from the processes, and I think, yes, it will take time, but I think maybe that's where your legacy brands and which are the brands that are ready to explore, maybe a startup, some startups are willing to do it, but what we are also seeing is increasingly a lot of startups also say, hey, we want what they call as awareness performance. So they want to derive your sales out of even marketing. So in those cases, it gets difficult, but then if a brand is willing to take that shot, I think it becomes easy, but I do get your point. I agree with that.
Well, thank you so much. May, back to you. Subscription models, branded collabs, or moving into video or live formats. What is the most exciting thing for you as somebody who's a producer in this space? What are you looking to do the most in the next 1 year?
So I did bite the bullet, and video, I pounced into that one. I'm still an audio person at heart. I think to some extent, whenever people ask me what you do, I'm like an audio production company with video capabilities is what I tell people, because I still can't fully give myself and say that I'm fully video. But the thing that I feel like excites me and the thing that I really want to explore is that I think that the live part, I think, is going to be really fun, because I feel like that is something that, like, I think when Amit and I were together, we tapped into doing that even with my own show. And I think more and more this opportunity to take a podcast and just do it live, and for people to experience that as like an audience and as fans and as people who want to, like, the person that they've been listening to all this time, they get to watch live. I think for me, that's the most exciting part of,
Yeah, one of my favorite podcasts is the pod called No Such Thing as a Fish. It's literally my favorite. And every episode is live. They're on tour all the time, and it's glorious. So, Amit, do you, before we go to them with the same question, I want to ask you, are audiences in India ready to pay for podcasts, or / would they come to an event?
So it does happen. The internet says so, guys do it, and they pull an audience. The great cricketer recently did a tour in India, and they were able to pull an audience, but then the India-Pakistan thing happened, and they had to cancel, I think, the last event. So it is possible. I think so, but I think we gotta. We have a venue challenge, very honestly. Like, what place do we have that can do? Most of the venues that I've kind of explored for this are 500 people. That's a big number to pull for a live podcast. At least it's a big number to have to kind of invest in to get started with it. So we do have a little bit of a venue challenge. If we could find like 100% venue, right? It'd be a good way to kind of start experimenting with this. So would like to do it, but not there yet. At least we're not there yet.
What about you, Sonal? Are you excited about venturing into any of these subscription models, branded collabs, moving into live formats?
I think moving into live formats would be a little challenging and exciting for me, and I would love to explore that.
I mean, we'll buy a ticket. We'll be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you prefer being in the studio with a guest, or would you prefer a live format as an extension to
No,
your
no,
show?
I think we're going to try live now. We failed with the podcast primarily. It's time to look at other things. So Amit and I have decided, but like he says, we have to get the right number. We'll start with 20 or 30 and then move from there. There was a place historically called the Habitat, but for some reason it's a dangerous place to go to without helmets. So we don't use that anymore. So we're trying to find the right place. Maybe this place is pretty good.
Svejal, I'm going to take this around the room, but I'm going to start with you. Why? Give me 3 reasons why you would be addicted to a podcast. Like you would actually wait for them to drop an episode every week.
I think, like I said, it also depends on, say, the reason why I'm following a podcast. Say, for example, if it's a podcast which I know, say, if I consume and say I can drop a nugget or a two when I am going to have my next conversation, say, in a meeting or with my peers, then that's something which I'll always look on to. So it can be, say, even with the executives, it depends upon, say, what is it that they are talking about their market or what is it that they are talking about their companies, then that kind of helps me out in that regards. But I think there are a lot of podcasts that say I may just listen to at the night because maybe I've had a real hectic day and maybe a soothe talking can really help me. Now that becomes like my everyday thing because it's a huge emotional need that I have. So I think it really depends on what my need is in that moment, and I think that's how I build my habits in with a podcast.
You guys think you're doing all our other things. It's loneliness, I'm telling you. It's just like, take it.
Rohini, I just want not to be like a prick, but you asked her to give 3 reasons. She's given half of 1.
Because we want to, because we're also running out of time. Thank you so much, Svejal, for keeping it so
you.
brief. I
I
appreciate
feel cheated
it.
as an audience.
I'm so sorry.
3 reasons. What? Don't be sorry. I live for this. I just be around. I just want him to, always interrupt. I love Cyrus, so.
We all do.
Everything I know because of him. So, top 3 things that you think, skills that are required. Because as you said, May, everybody's grandfather wants to be a podcaster. You never said grandmother because women don't want everything, So let's just keep that clear. But men. So talk to me about 3 things that you think are necessary skills before they pick it up and say, I'll be a podcaster.
So I will say the thing, I'll give you one because we're short on time.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think the thing that will either push people forward or hold them back is I always say, make the pilot. Do the thing, make it and hear it back because you'll realize how shit it is or you'll realize how good it is. Or you'll realize the mistakes you're making and make it even better. So I always tell people, make the thing. I have recorded pilots on my little Zoom recorder because I just wanted to be able to hear how it sounded. But I always say you realize when something is really worth it when you actually friggin' make it.
Thank you. So make the pilot. That's words of wisdom. Cyrus?
What is the question?
What do you think is the most
I
essential
got
thing
severe
before somebody
ADHD.
goes ahead and
it's
makes a
very
podcast?
difficult to pay attention in a long interview. I failed my Aadhaar card exam. Sorry. Again?
One thing that
I
you
was
think
talking to Yatin. Yatin and I have a very intellect sort of stimulation.
So,
Sorry?
one thing that you think people should have as a quality before becoming a podcaster.
So she gets 3 and I'm 1 because I'm stupid.
Because she set the precedent. She said half, so now you get 1.
Listen, I'm sick of people who want to become podcasters. They all come and tell me, "Mere ko karna hai podcast. How can I?" I mean, why would you want more people? Please, no more podcasters.
Yeah.
Stop now. There are far too many, and every joker has a phone or basic equipment. Some of it is better than what we do in production, IBM. But hey, don't want to point fingers. So if you ask me, when I was younger, they would come and say, I want to be a VJ. Then roadies changed all that, and today most people forget MBA, want to be roadies. So, the things, how do you answer these questions? And it's not like it's rocket science and there's a whole process and you go to Cambridge and, you get this and that and the other. It's a pretty intangible product. You're an idiot. You sit in front of a mic, you talk to another idiot, and some idiots listen. It's as simple as that. As far as I'm concerned, you're doing great work.
Thank you, Cyrus. But, I think one day we're all going to be in a place where everybody's a podcaster, so we have no guests in the world left. Because everyone's just going to have their own shows. Sonal.
Yeah, so I feel everybody is a podcaster today, and if somebody is new into the industry, I think he or she should ask himself or herself, कि मैं ऐसा क्या नया कर रहा हूँ, that everybody or somebody will come and watch my podcast. And one thing that I feel that should be there is relatability. That is very important.
If you want to start a podcast, I mean, you should start a podcast. I think, as May said, you should just try it out. But I think the thing to realize that is you have to have something that people want to listen to, and you got to understand what it is that why should people listen to you, right? Like in the case of May, it was independent music. She knew everybody in that space. In the case of Cyrus, it was like 20 years of experience, like, you know, being in front of everybody. In your case, it is all the various animation experience you have, right? These are tangible reasons that this is why I want to listen to this show. Just because you put yourself in front of a mic does not mean that you're worth somebody's time. So you realize the fact that people are giving you extended time and make it worth it for them.
Well, thank you so much. You guys have been fantastic. You'll have shared insights, you'll have shared knowledge, and this is what the spirit of today is, which is back to school. And I think this was an amazing session to start off with, because I only asked the questions, they gave us the answers. A round of applause for them, please.
Thanks to you too.